Hi everybody, this is Todd Olthoff from toddolthoff.com coming back at you with another screencast. Again, we're going to talk about Google+, but today we're going to talk about the Photos features of Google+. Google's really done a great job trying to attract photographers to their social media site with a lot of great options that photographers like in terms of how photos are displayed and uploads and those kinds of things. And it really has created a competitive service against places like Flickr and some of the other more established photo sharing sites that are out there. So today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about how you get started with photos, where you find them, how you upload them, the things you can do to edit them. There really are a lot of features and things that you can do with photos. But before we get started, what I wanted to do first is just talk a little bit about the difference between Google+ and Picasa Web Albums, because I think it's important to understand that difference. If you have a Picasa Web Albums account already and you've already uploaded stuff to the web, you'll know that you have a 1 gigabyte limit on those photos, the number of things that you can upload, and there's a certain size limit. I believe it's like 800 by 800 size photos that you can upload for free. On Google+, however, there is unlimited uploads of photos, and the limit on those photos is 2048 by 2048 pixels. So they're high quality photos that you can upload, and you can also do videos up to 15 minutes, and they are always free and they go to your free storage. The nice thing about it is if you upload them through the Google+ site, they will also show on Picasa Web Albums. But if you upload them on the Picasa Web Albums, you can back them into Google+, but the problem is now you still fall under that 1 gigabyte cap. So you want to make sure that as you're uploading these photos that you upload them through the Google+ interface, which I'm going to show you here in a minute, and do it that way so that you don't have any cap then on the number of photos that you can upload to the site. So I just wanted to set that up first because that's an important distinction, and you might notice, hey, wait a minute, why are my limits going down? They'll only go down if you upload them to Picasa Web Albums first, so make sure you're uploading them to Google+. So let's go back into Google+ here, and let's take a look at how we take care of these photos. Now, there are two places I can find photos in Google+. There is the Photos tab up here, which will take me directly into the area where all my different photos and things are, and that's a specific Photos tab. There also is the Profile area, which if you look in the Profile area and you come down here under Photos, you can click Photos right there, and that will also show you your shared albums and any other photos of you that people have tagged or that come up in your photo stream. And so you can upload photos from both locations, and so just so that you know, there are two spots you can look at that. Okay, well, let's start by uploading some photos into the account. Let's see how that works. I'm doing it right now off the profile page, and I'm going to upload my folder of pictures over here of my chipmunks that I took on a trip I was on. So you just click this Upload New Photos button here, and it takes you to a page where you can upload these things, and you can upload them from your desktop or from your phone. I'm going to do it from my desktop, and I'm just gonna name this album Chipmunks because that's what I took pictures of, and I'll put the date on there as well just so I have that on here. And so then it says to select the photos from your computer, so you can just click this button here. You can also drag them in to your upload place as well, but I'll just do it through the regular means here. And what I'm going to do is add all of these different photos here of these chipmunks. I'm going to choose those, and you'll notice that they start immediately to upload, and you can see the progress bars there as they're starting to upload them to my photo share. And so as those things are done and as all those photos show up, they'll start to populate. You'll start to get a picture of what they look like. And once that's done, I'll show you how you can begin to manage these things. Okay, as you can see, we've uploaded our photos now, and all I've got to do is click Create Album. I could upload more photos if I wanted to add to this album, or I could add these photos to an existing album if I had one. But I'm just going to create a new album right now for my account and get that going. Now it allows me immediately, if I'd like, to share that album right on my stream. And I could just type in some comments about this album that I wanted to share, and I can choose then in my circles who I want to share with. And so if I just click this button here, a drop down comes down and it shows all of the different circles that I've got, and I can choose who I want to share this particular album with. So I don't want to share this album yet because I want to show you how to do that a little later, so I'm just going to click cancel. Now you'll notice on our screen here that the Chipmunks album doesn't show up, and that's because these are only my shared albums here on my profile page. So to see the album that I just uploaded, I want to come up here to Photos. I'm going to click that button there, and then I'm going to come down here on the side to where it says Your Albums. And you can see there's my Chipmunk folder. And it's kind of nice when you roll over the photos, they kind of spread apart so you can see a few of the photos that are in that stack. And you'll notice the little red mark there that says basically that these photos are only visible to me because I haven't shared them with anyone. You'll notice on a few of these other ones, these are photos from my posts, so there's really no icon there telling me who I shared it with because that's particular to a post. But you'll notice here, the little globe here means that it's being shared publicly, that anybody can see this photo that I've got, and that's good because it's my profile photo. Over here, you can see this is my grandma's 90th. You can see here that it says that these photos here are limited, and you can tell that by just the number of the two little heads on there, and that tells me that these two particular albums are only shared with a limited number of people. And the great thing about Google Plus is you can set who gets to see what albums and how they're shared. Now if you look on this particular album, let me just click on it and open it up. And what's great about Google Plus is the way they display these photos. They're high resolution. When you hover over them, they come to the front and pop up. They really have a nice look to them. You notice here too it shows the number of photos in the album when I uploaded, who they're visible to. And I can choose to share this album, share it on my stream, or I have other options too, which is delete the album if I wanted to do that as well. And if I click this button here, you can see that it's only shared with me, but I can change that. I can lock the album so that no one can add to it or change it at all. I can change some of those settings that are sitting right there. But as you can see, it's a really nice setup on how this goes, and these albums show up in your albums area down here, and these are the ones that I just uploaded. If I don't like the way I labeled the album, I can change the name right up here just by clicking here and just say, well, I don't want to make it plural, I just want it to be Chipmunk, and just do it that way. And then as soon as I click off of it, now it says saving and the title has been saved, and now that's the new title of my album. So it's very simple to navigate and to maneuver around. And so that gives you a little bit of a taste for how the basic album feature goes. And like I said, if I wanted to share this album, I can put it right here. And I could choose to share it with whoever I want to. I can share this publicly, or I can add different people to it at the same time. So that gives you a feel for how that works in regards to your albums. And we'll check out in a little bit how you can also edit these photos and make them look better. One of the neat features of Google Plus as well is that I can view individual photos in more detail. So if I just highlight one of these photos in my album and I click on it, it takes me to a type of a slideshow screen where I can just click back and forth through the photos that are in this particular album. And as you see, the photos change here, but down here you'll notice there's a little photo stream that shows you how many photos are in there and which one you're looking at any particular time. Now underneath the photos you'll notice a couple of details. I can +1 this album if I want to, which just means that I like the photo that I saw. I can do that by a photo basis. I can tag people in this particular photo, and since there's no people here I really can't tag this, but if I click this tag button, it would bring this up where I can size it around somebody's head and then label their name. So I'm going to click off of that and just click back into the photo because I don't want to do that. I can also share a particular photo right from here, and that photo would show up on my photo stream. So if I didn't want to share the entire album, I just want to pull one photo out that I could share with other people, I just click this button here, and it allows me then to share it. It puts the photo up how it's going to show in my stream, and I can type in the information in there, who I want to share it with, and once I click share, it shows right up on my photo stream. I'm going to cancel that for right now. Now if you come to the right here, there's a couple of other things that you can look at. If you notice under the options, if I just click this tab here, there's a few other things available to me for these photos. So for this particular photo, I can click on this photo details area. And what's kind of neat is the photo flips over and it shows all the EXIF data for this photo. Now I've got my location data is hidden, and so I want to change that. I want to show the location data for this album, and so as soon as I click that, I've already had the information geocoded into my photo, and it automatically reads that information and shows where I took this particular photo. And that's kind of neat when that comes up. You can see the spectrum up here, the camera I took it with, and all of those details. Again, the location will show up on a map, so you can see where I ended up taking that photo. And it was near Howard's Prairie Lake, and it was right on a little jetty that came out there. So even the geotagging is kind of neat to be able to check out for these photos. So when I'm done looking at it, I can just click back to photo, and it flips right back around, and I can go take a look at other options. If you look at the other things, I can delete this photo. I can download this photo if I wanted to do that and save it. Or I could report or delete a comment that somebody may have made on this photo that I didn't like. Maybe they commented over in this area over here, and I didn't like the comment, or they said something bad, or they were trying to sell me something. So it just allows me the ability to get rid of spam and things like that that can get cluttered up in these photo sites if people want to add their things to it. Now, I've also got an edit feature, and this is kind of a neat deal that's added into Google Plus as well, is that I can rotate the photo left or right. I can auto-fix the photo if I want to, where it'll enhance the photo based on how the program does it normally, just by the sliders. Or I can also click this Creative Kit area. And so when I click this area here, it takes me into what used to be the Picnic software, but they've integrated it into Google Plus so that you can do all kinds of editing of your photos right here on the site. You'll notice over here I can crop the photo. I can click Auto Fix if I want to, and that will enhance it and change it. So if I click that, it says it's fixed. Okay. Now I have the option to save or cancel or undo, and so I'm just going to undo that because I wanted to leave it the way that I had it. I can crop the photo if I want. And so, cropping information comes up here, and I can just decide maybe I just want to crop in on this guy here, and I can do the crop and make it happen if I wanted to do it that way as well. I'm just going to cancel that because I don't want to crop it at all. So I'm going to navigate away from that. So let me get back into the Creative Kit there. Probably would have been better if I just would have cropped it and clicked undo. But anyways, this shows you how it works. I can rotate the photo if I want to. And I can choose the direction that I want to rotate it. I can rotate it at different degrees. I can even straighten the photo if it's a little bit crooked. I can make it how it needs to be, and I can apply those changes, and everything's set. So if I want to flip it, I can rotate it any direction I want to. I can rotate it back. On this kind of a deal, I can change the direction. So if I didn't like the direction that he was looking, I can change it and have him look the other direction. I can also flip it upside down if I want and move it around. So there's a lot of different ways you can do it. You can also straighten the photo. If the photo's a little bit off, it gives you a grid, and you can straighten it up and make it the way you want to do it. So it's kind of a neat way to make adjustments and things to your photos if you need to make those quick adjustments. There's also an exposure tab here. I can click the auto exposure, which will just make all of these sliders change. And see, it says fixed, and it changed it the way it felt it needs to do it to make the picture work. But if I wanted to, I can play with it. I can do contrast and see how that's changing the contrast. I can play with the shadows a little bit on there, or maybe the highlights if I want to pull some things out. Even the exposure. I can make any kinds of changes that I want to make to that. And it's neat. It just, again, allows you to update those things. I can play with the colors, the same kind of a thing. I can do auto colors, where it does its own thing on it. I can saturate or desaturate it. I can increase the temperature if I want to on this, and make that work. There's all kinds of different things that I can do with the colors. And then there's sharpening. If I want to increase the sharpness of the photo or the clarity, I can do an unsharp mask if I want. Really kind of neat. And then I can resize the photo. If I don't like the dimensions, I can do it by proportion if I want to, or I can use percentages. And I can resize the photo if it's too big, or too, and I want to shrink it down a little bit. I have a lot of options that I can use to make those changes. Now those are just under basic edits. If I come up here to the next area, I have effects. And in these effects, I can change how my photo looks just by clicking on these things. I can make it black and white. I can change it to boost the colors. I can add all kinds of different effects to my photo, if I want to do that in here as well. So it's kind of a neat deal. The next tab appears. I've got vandalize, and I guess that's a kind of a great descriptor because you can do all kinds of things. You can doodle on your drawing. So if I wanted to put doodles, I can erase things and all that on there. I can do face paint. I can do speech bubbles. So if I want my my chipmunk to say something, I can kind of stick this in here and have him say something, and then come down to text and put some text on there. But I don't think I want my chipmunk to say anything, so I'm just going to undo that. The nice thing is you can undo anything that you put in there. You can just back out and undo. I can put a beard on them. I can put crowns on them, masks. I mean, you name it. There's all kinds of neat little things that it lets you do on here to kind of enhance your photo and make changes to it. I can even put funny eyeballs on there for them. So that's vandalize. And then you have text, and if you want to put text on here, you can do that. It's got plenty of fonts, and you can label your picture and say something about it if you want to do it that way as well. So there's all kinds of different options. If I wanted to zoom in as I'm doing these effects, I can do that too and just get a closer look at the picture to be able to make the changes I want to make. So again, all kinds of neat things that you can do. You can also do it in full screen if you want to, where it just will blow it up for you. And anyways, it's kind of a neat package that just sort of included in there. If you don't have any photo editing software, you can go ahead and make changes like that, and it's a neat thing to have added into Google+. So I'm just going to cancel that and go back and move away from that, and now it takes me right back to where my photo view area is. Now, you'll notice on this right-hand side, and I kind of alluded to it earlier, is there's a place where you can add comments. And so people can add comments about each particular photo, and you can view those comments here. And this is kind of what makes it a little bit more social, because people can tell you whether they like your photos or don't, or maybe some things to change. If you wanted to, you could get into a photo critiquing group. That would you could put photos out there, and people could tell you maybe ways to improve those photos or adjust them to make them better. But overall, this is a really neat ability. It's a neat thing that they give you to be able to play with these photos. Okay, let me show you now how you can share an album with other people and what that looks like. So I'm going to click on the Share Album button here. It allows you to type in some text. So I'm just going to say, hey, here are some pictures I took on vacation, and just leave it at that. I'm going to uncheck the public one because that's not the circle I want to share it with. But if I click this link here to add circles of people I want to share with, I'm going to click this following circle right here, and I'm just going to share with that particular circle. So it's got my 5 photos there, it's got my text, and it's got who I'm sharing it with. So I'm just going to, and if you notice I hover over this, I can notify that person about that post, but I'm not going to do that. So I'm just going to click share, and now it's going to share those photos. Now you notice that it changed here to the little icon that shows that I'm sharing it. It says it's visible to limited because there's a limited number of people, and this is unlocked, so they can put comments and add things to it and all of that. Now if I want to see what that looks like in my stream, I can come over to my home area here on my stream, and if I go to that particular group, it's also in my main stream, it shows what it looks like. So here's what the post looks like with all of the photos. Someone can comment on it if they want to. They can +1 it, maybe because they like the photos or something like that. It shows when I posted it and all of those details. Now, this is not visible to anybody except for the people who are in this particular circle. And right now I just have one person in this circle who can see these photos. That's the only person who can see it at this point in time. If that person were to click on this because they wanted to look at them, they go right into the more detailed screen that we talked about earlier, and they can view the photos right here and click through them and take a look at them right off of my stream. And so that's the way I can begin to share these photos with people I want to share it with. Now if we go back up to our photos area right here, you'll notice that there are photos from your circles where anybody in your circle who's sharing photos, their photos will show up here, and you can take a look at them and kind of peruse them. You have photos again from your phone that if you've got an Android app, you can upload directly from your phone to this area. You can still upload from your iOS device if you've got an iPhone or anything like that. It's just that they won't show up in this section that says photos from your phone. You have photos of you, which anybody who's tagged you in a photo or photos you've uploaded of yourself where you're tagged, those will show up here. And then you have photos from your posts. So these are all photos that I had placed in posts that I had made before. Again, it shows that these are all shared publicly, the date that I posted it, and how many photos there are. And that's right there for me. And then, as we said before, you have your albums. And that kind of gives you a basic tour of how things work inside of Google Plus for the Photos area. And it really is kind of a neat feature. One final thing I want to show you in our tour of these things is just how all this integrates with the Picasa Web Albums, just so you can see that these things do interface and do integrate. If I come up here to my toolbar up here and I just start typing in picasaweb.google.com and I hit that, and if I'm already logged into Google+, it'll take me to my home page on Picasa Web Albums. And you'll notice these are the albums that you've already seen, and you can see that my Chipmunk album is up there as well. It keeps all of the same settings. You've got your number of photos, when you uploaded it, and whether it's limited views or not. But it integrates with Picasa Web. And if I click into this particular album, you can see all of my pictures there. I can do a slideshow. I can share my pictures with other people. I can add photos to it. I can even order prints off of here and do different things with the album properties and see them on a map and those kinds of things, and I can organize them differently as well. But as you can see, they're all up here. From here I can share them with people if I want to send this out, and so people can still download my photos from here if they don't want to do it through Google Plus, or they're just not on Google Plus, so it's a little bit more difficult for them to make that happen. And it's kind of neat. On the sidebar you can see over here it's got all the information on my album. I can click who I want to share this with and then send them an email invite so they can come right back to this album. Kind of an easy way to be able to do it for your relatives, your grandparents, those kinds of things. And then it shows the map on here, and it shows where I took the photo on the map, and I can change the way I view the map, whether I want to view it by satellite or not. It's kind of a neat way to put these things together. So anyway, so that shows you how Picasa Web Albums integrates with the photos that you put up in Google+. And again, this has nothing against my cap. All of those photos that I uploaded don't influence the amount that I've got left to use in my web albums, which is kind of a neat thing. And so you can even see it down here. I'm currently using 0 megabytes of my 1024 megabytes. So you can see that I don't even have to worry about storage with this. Everything is right there for me. Well, that's it for my overview of the photo section of Google+. I'll be back next time with another tutorial to help you learn how to do more with your Mac.